Okay, now, you see this? They've got 2x6s. What do you suppose this is for? You see here, all the way through here? Obviously, these 2x6s are just temporary. You can see where they've got their braces, where they've got braces here. And you see this wall here, talking about braces. They had to straight line that with the string. And see here, here's some of their string right here on this here, okay? But they had to straight line that with the string, and see, my word, look at this 2x6 here. Or it's a 2x4. And see, they've got a 2x4 down here at the bottom, and then they've got this toenailed in there, and then they take this and they stand it up at an angle, and then they'll either push it this way, or they'll have that, and they'll angle that down, and see how that's got a bow to it. And that's really pushing that wall out, because they needed to push that wall out a little bit before they put these other braces in. See, here's some 2x4 braces, some 2x6 braces, but enough of that. Let's talk about this tall thing. See here, they've got 2x6 up there flat, and they've got it nailed all the way across. Then there's another row here. See where the roof, where the walls step down. Then this wall is a fake temporary wall. This wall is a temporary wall. Why do you suppose they have those in there? And look how they did their X braces here. I thought that was kind of slick, where they do it here, because they didn't want to shoot anything down into the ground, into the concrete floor inside the garage, or else they'll have marks there that they'd have to patch up later on. Look at all this stuff. And so this prevents that, because it's like a fulcrum point there, and then it goes on down there, kind of like A-frames. See how it goes down like that? Well, anyways, I'm going to tell you what that's for. Okay? They're setting up. Have you figured it out yet? They're setting it up for when the trusses get here. Okay, so when the trusses get here, we look at this section here. I have not looked at the plans. I have not seen a set of plans out here. When the guys were framing and working the other day, I saw them all jumbled up off to the side. I didn't talk to them, hey, can I look at your plans or anything like that? But I'm going to say that there's going to be trusses. A truss, you know how a truss is built? The bottom ceiling joist is tied in with the roof line going here, and then there'll be some other braces going up with some gusset, some metal flange things that nail it all together, and then you're going to have another piece here and another piece like that, and it goes on the roof. Okay, well, chances are they're going to set these up here with a big boom, and they're going to have all these trusses. So this section, the trusses are going to end off of this big huge beam going all the way across here, boom. And so the roof line is going to go from here halfway up and then back down to there, okay? So when that truss gets here, the bottom plate is all nailed together with the top rafters and all that kind of stuff. This is someplace for them to set the middle of it, because it's an A. So when you flop it down, these would just flop all the way down if they didn't have this little section up there, see? And so guess what? When they get up there, some guy's going to be walking on that 2x6 wall. One guy's going to be up here on top of this 2x6. One guy's going to be over here, and they're going to drag each one over, and they'll stack them all over here, flat, probably shaped like an A, and then they'll grab one, drag it all the way, boom, ba-boom, 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 set that one up, brace it up, walk back over here, grab the next one, ba-boom, 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 set it up, tack it off, and then they'll keep doing that. That's what this section center is for. And see, this section here, this tells me that the roof on this side is going from here like that, okay? And then they're going to flop the trusses down, and they're going to set them on top of these 2x6s, and that's what these planks, that's what these 2x6s here are for, and so that they're going to walk out on this, they're going to walk out on that one, okay? And are those trusses going to be that wide? Good golly, Miss Molly, I don't think they, I don't know. It just, time's going to tell on this, but I'm thinking it's going to go from here And a ceiling joist is going to go from there all the way through here. And once they attach the trusses, they're just going to attach the trusses at both ends. Then after they get all the trusses up, they're going to take all this down. And that's just going to hold the trusses from flopping down. There's no way, if you didn't have these walls here, if you didn't have this over here, there's no way for these trusses, for you to drag the truss over here and then swivel it all the way up. Do you see what I mean? And so that's what that's for. So they're getting all ready. This is getting exciting. You can hear it in my voice, can't you? That they've got all this section ready for those trusses. They've measured out here and they've checked it. Here's a brace here going up to there. I'll bet you they still have to work on these walls to make sure they're perfectly plumb from left to right. Over here, this one, and they'll check that. And because see, there's no braces on this wall yet. Kind of like, see, there's braces on this wall, which means they've already put their jet line, their string on that to make sure that this wall doesn't have any wobblies on it, and it's all nice and straight, because when the trusses go on here, they're going to measure these trusses, and if the truss is 20 foot wide or 25 feet long, by golly, the middle of the outside of that wall and the middle of the outside of that wall needs to be 25 feet, as well as 25 feet, or whatever. Now see, over here, you got the wall, boom, 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 boom. And so the trusses, all the trusses will probably be cut in different lengths. And I'm not sure, because I'm not sure how the roof is designed or anything like that. It'll be interesting once it all comes up, and you'll kind of get the idea of what's going on here. Okay, and so for the interior of this place yet, they're not ready for any roofing, rafters yet, or any of that. I'm sure they've still got some bracing to do, and they've still got some other things that they're working on here, and they know they still have a little bit of time, because they still have to frame this out, don't they? They still have to frame this out and that, and I'm thinking. Maybe it has to do with the special order of a certain size of a front door. They haven't decided for the front door. Is it going to be a double door? Is it going to be 5 feet wide total? Is it going to be 6 feet wide total? Is it going to be just a single door with a window transom next to it? Is it going to be a 3 foot wide door, 3'6" door, 4 foot wide door, 2 3 foot doors? Who knows? But there really shouldn't be any reason why they couldn't have framed this. Most of the time, everything's framed at the same time. So see, obviously, something is going on there that has prevented them from actually framing that yet, as well as this back here. Maybe there's a special wall here that folds up so that you can open it from one end, and they swivel out, and then you can slide this whole thing open. Who knows? I have no idea what's going on. Unfortunately, I'm not talked to the framers and said, hey, by the way, is there a reason why you haven't framed this yet? So anyways, once they do that, then they'll start checking these walls. They'll check these walls. Now, before they installed these interior plywood shear walls, I'm calling them, they needed to make sure that they were plumb going from left to right, okay, before they put the plywood in. Because once you install the plywood, if this wall is crooked, you can't just tilt it to the left 1/8 of an inch from the bottom to the top, or a 1/4 inch that way or something like that. This is all done. Once you do that, you don't need any bracing on that wall, because the plywood is your brace. So we know that the plywood is the brace from left to right, okay, but not from front to back. And so this way, they still have to decide, and on your interior walls, see where this brace is here? If that is keeping this wall straight, then it's transferring that over all the way to there being straight. And if that's the case, they don't need another brace over here, because they got that brace is doing the same thing. So it just depends how they do their bracing and that sort of stuff. But I see that there's no real braces on the exterior perimeter walls just yet, so I know they're still going to have to put some braces, kind of like the braces you see over here. Okay, see how they've got this braced with the 2x6s down here, and then this 2x4 going up, and that's bracing that. And obviously they were doing that because this wall is a different type of wall, right? It's cathedral ceiling like that, and we know the rafters, the trusses that are coming out here, they're probably going to be like a scissor truss, like going up at an angle to mimic this cathedral ceiling. It's not going to be flat for a flat ceiling, and that's probably going to go from left to right, probably from there to here only. Okay, and so when the rafter comes here, there's not going to be a rafter tail on it. It'll just stop, and then they'll, I don't know how the roof is going in here just yet. I don't know if it's coming up this way and down that way, or if there's going to be different hips, there's going to be different valleys and that kind of stuff, because there's different outcroppings where it goes out and back in and at an angle, and see that wall over there goes this way and that way, and their garage does all that. So your roof line really has a number on here, and you're going to have all kinds of things on it. You're going to have a ridge, some ridges in some places, some hips in some places where two areas are coming out of 45, and then you've got a ridge, but it's coming down at an angle. That's called a hip. And then you got a valley, which is kind of the same thing as that, but it ties two down where some flashing goes, and that still comes down at a 45-degree angle, but the two roofs are going down, and then that's called a valley. If they're going the other way, going up but coming out of 45 down, that's called a hip. And a ridge is just straight across where both roofs, front to back or left to right, go up and then back down, and there's a big, huge, long line at the top. That's a ridge. Okay, so there'll be different things. There'll be different things, and at that end, that's called a gable. Your roof down like that, and it's on the end. That's called a gable. So there's just different things you pick up as you go. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. It's getting a little dark, and I always have to come out here about this time, and then I try to hurry my video before it gets too dark, because I have not purchased a new video camera yet, and I've been having some issues with this video camera, even though it's an HD video camera. It's about 6-7 years old, and it's probably tired, and it's probably ready to be thrown away, and I need to get a new one, because if there's too much light out here, it's too light and you can hardly see it, and then as it gets just a little darker, it's going to be so dark that I can't even see my hand, even though I can see it, the video camera won't pick it up. But right now, see, if the video camera picks up fine, doesn't it? So there's got to be something wrong with it, and I really don't want to spend $200 or $300 to have somebody fix this video camera when I can buy a new HD video camera for probably $400. So why fix a 7-year-old one and spend $300 when I can get a brand new one with more gadgets on it for $400? You know what I mean? Or I take it someplace and maybe they charge me, well, we had to charge you $150 to pull it all apart, but we're sorry to say we can't fix it, but you still have to pay us $150. So now my new camera costs $550 instead of $400 because they couldn't fix this 7-year-old camera. You see what I mean? So that's why I'm gonna end up getting a new video camera for sure. I tried the other day. I tried to make a video with my cell phone. I know a lot of people who make videos use their cell phone, and it might work for them. But I like keeping my video camera on the tripod and working with it and flipping the camera, the little screen off to the side. I can flip that both ways, and with a cell phone I can't, and the cell phone seems like it takes longer to upload, and then once you upload it, you have to put a new you have to get a new way to edit your videos because it's in a different format than video camera. Your format is QuickTime instead of something else, and you know, it's all these different things. I thought, phooey on that. You know, if I'm using my cell phone and if the battery runs out on my cell phone, then I still have to get a different battery and attach it to the cell phone and do all that. When you know, video cameras, I got big, huge, fat batteries for that, and then I can carry one or two, and those are easy to charge and all that kind of stuff. So for all those different reasons, I think for myself, I'm gonna keep using a video camera because I like using the video camera. But if you're deciding to make videos, do you have to do it with a video camera? No, you don't. You can just do it on your cell phone. And now with the cell phones nowadays, you're getting pictures just as good. And if you can live without getting a video camera, just keep doing your cell phone, okay? But for me, I think I'm getting the video camera, and then later on down the road, if somebody wants to explain to me how I can use my cell phone, maybe I'll use my cell phone and my video camera, depending what I'm shooting or something like that, okay? There's a tip for you. Yeah. Well, that's all I got. See how it's dark right now? But it's not really that dark, but it's just because of this video camera. Okay, that's all I got for this time. But I'll be back with more videos, and I'm hoping pretty soon they should have the rest of this framed out. I haven't been out here for 3 or 4 days because I knew they were working on installing all of this plywood and stuff, and now we can see they've got these temporary walls up here for the getting ready for the trusses. And I know that I doubt very seriously they're going to order trusses and only do the trusses up to there and then wait for the rest of the trusses. Usually for a house, they bring all the trusses out together. And if that's the case, I know they're not ready for the trusses. They're preparing themselves for the trusses. And as soon as they figure out what they're going to do with their framing on those other perimeters that I had shown you, they'll be able to finish that. They'll be able to install that plywood, and then they'll be able to brace up the rest of the walls over there and all that kind of stuff to make sure that they're all 100% ready for the trusses. Because on all of the walls, on the interior walls, once you install your trusses, you're going to start attaching those trusses, your flat ceiling areas, and you'll just tack them down to the other walls that are already up there, okay? And then and then you know that's exactly where it's going to be. You can't move those walls later. That's why you have to brace all of your interior walls, plumb everything up, including your exterior walls and your interior walls, and have all of that ready before your trusses come out. Then once your trusses come out, you line them up where they go, then you nail them. You start nailing them, and then you go down where the ceiling joists are, and then you can start tacking all those, knowing that all your interior walls have already been plumbed, all your perimeter walls have been plumbed, so that when your trusses come out, all of your perimeter walls are exactly where they're going to be, so that when you nail your trusses, you know they're down and they're done. You don't have to worry about any of your walls anymore, okay? So they're getting there. They're getting there, aren't they? They almost are ready for that. I'm guessing probably in another 3-4 days. Next time I come out here, all of the rest of the walls will be done. Everything on the inside will be braced. And who knows, maybe the trusses will be here by then. And I'm just getting ready to leave. And here's another tip for you. If you're framing out your house yourself and you're all in charge of it and all that kind of stuff, make sure that at the end of each day, especially when you're framing and getting ready for the roofing and you're having nails around, make sure you walk around the perimeter. You know, especially if you got a street here and a sidewalk or a curb, something like that. See here they've got a couple 2x4s. They've had a few more here, so that they went back and forth with their different heavy equipment. they could go over this easier. But the last thing you want is to start having any nails out here, any twisted nails, any nails. Some guy loaded them up in his nail bag and a couple of them fell out. Last thing you want is for some of the neighbors to start complaining, or even your workers saying, hey, I got a flat tire the other day, and it was because I picked up a nail from out here on the road. Okay, so check your perimeters, and I like to at the end of each day, and I didn't tell you, but at the end of each day I like to walk the inside, pick up all the scrap 2x4s and any braces that have nails sticking up or something. If they're not using them, bend those down, stack things up a little bit, have everything ready for the next day. The last thing you want is for one of your workers to come the next day and twist his ankle or break his leg, fall over backwards, something, because he tripped on some of the 2x4s and some of the blocking that you had cut the other day, and yeah, I'm just going to leave it there, I'll pick it up later, and then you don't pick it up, and then somebody cracks their ankle on it and messes up their knee or something. Okay, so check those things out. It's always good to be safe rather than sorry.